Hello everyone, it's Mystic, here with some more EOS content, and I hit level 30 recently, and that's the midway point of the game, and I decided to take a look at some aspects of the game, and give a review on it, and what can be improved or what needs to go. So, let's get started. First off, the leveling. People don't like leveling, but people like leveling, and leveling's a very hard thing to get correct. However, what I've seen so far in this game, it does it well. You're not killing 9 million things to get your 5 quest items. You kill it, it drops it. Which is how it should be, which is good. Where they could improve is if I'm attacking a mob and someone else comes up and starts attacking the mob, when it dies, we both get credit for it. Whereas it stands now, the first person to attack it gets the kill. And a lot of games have moved away from that model. I would like to see this game move away from that model as well. Another thing is when you're in a group, doing group questing, you gotta gather something, have it count for both people. That, I don't know why it's not a thing. It should be a thing. It's really silly that it's not. So, I haven't seen a part of the game yet where I feel like I am underleveled for the quest. I have found parts where I feel overleveled for quests, but that only lasts for about 3 or 4 quests, and then back into content that is relevant for me. Now, I haven't done grinding. I've done the dungeons when it's told me to, but I haven't gone out of my way to have my experience boosting. The only thing that's had in my experience is rest experience, and I really consider that a boost, as everybody can get it when they don't play. Some things I like to see change. I already mentioned the tagging of the mob doesn't really matter, you both can get the credit for it. Looting stuff that you need for in your bags, both parties get it off the same mob. Sorry, off the same mob works. What I mean is stuff on the ground. Stuff you gotta pick up off the ground doesn't count for both parties. And the quest where you gotta use an item to suck the blood or something, that should also count for both parties. I think that's all I have right now on the questing side of things. Now to the talents, or specializations as they call them in this game. I really don't see a drawback to them. You're going to have your cookie cutter spec no matter what you do. Any game that has a talent system, there's going to be a cookie cutter spec. The only thing you can do is make both things viable, and all your choices viable. Right now, the rogue I'm leveling up is a duelist, and I can see some talents being more useful in PvP, so therefore I'm taking the talents that are PvE oriented, but overall, there's not too much I have to complain about the talent system. I like the fact that it does give you dual specialization, so you can go down the one path, and then when you get the ability to duel, go down the other one. Or still on the same one, but pick different options. That is a very good system. I am so happy games are implementing that more and more, because it really sucks having to level up another character to try out a different specialization. The character animation, I thoroughly enjoy it. I haven't seen two attacks yet do the same animation. They may start off the same way, but you can only start off swinging your sword so many different ways. But then between the arcing and the stuff, the actions, thingy-majiggers, something different happens. And that's cool. Same with on the archer, shooting an arrow. How many different kinds of ways can you shoot an arrow? It's doing it. And I thoroughly enjoy it. The only thing I could suggest for the character animation is maybe allow head pieces when you get it to be shown. The PvP, of what I've done of it, I've actually enjoyed it. And if you've followed the channel, you've watched the podcast that Mike and myself do, I'm not a big fan of PvP. Mainly because I suck at it, but that's beside the point. The battlegrounds I've done, I have enjoyed. Now, as I've mentioned in my PvP video, I would prefer that when the screen's loading or the countdown before the battle, it gives you a quick overview in text. It's all has to be in text on what you gotta do for that battleground. So you don't spend the first half of it wandering around and what do I do. But what I've seen of it so far, there doesn't seem to be, from my point of view, a overpower class and an underpower class. Class? Yeah. So, when I have died in the battleground, it has been, oh, I got away from my group and 3 of them ganged up on me. Or, I didn't get that one attack off in time. I didn't feel gypped. The dungeons, what I've got to do of them is just a solo dungeon, so no group dungeons yet. And I want to try to get into that because it's very interesting. You have tanks and you have DPSs, but you don't have a healer, so very intriguing to me. But they are fun. They don't overwhelm you. They give you just enough mobs, and if you pull it correctly, you're not going to get overwhelmed. And the bosses have area of effects you got to get out of. That the ground is colored, going, hey, this is red, get the hell out of it. And I thoroughly enjoy that. Professions. I am not a fan of the professions whatsoever. Mainly because even with the help system, it didn't give me any help. When I accept the profession, I shouldn't have to go back in and purchase the first couple of recipes. As soon as I accept it, I should have recipes there so I know what the hell to do. So, I haven't leveled my professions that far, mainly because the way I do it is I use level cap, then I do professions, but we'll find out what they're going to be like. They seem interesting from what I've seen. Just hope it carries through. And then the game system. This is where my biggest gripe with the game comes from. The system I have had no problems running any games. I can run them at their ultra settings, still get over 60 frames per second. For whatever reason, this game destroys my graphics, and recently I've been getting 50-ish at times, but there's a skip where the game just freezes, and that can be life or death. It's unacceptable. I tried a whole bunch of different settings in the game to no success. I even used my NVIDIA control panel and forced different settings into the game, and that just destroyed the entire recordings, because then I would drop down 11 frames per second when I tried to record anything. But the skipping was still there. I had the latest drivers for my video cards. I had the latest drivers for Windows. For some reason, it just wants to skip. I don't know why. So that's my Midway review. I do enjoy the game. There are some problems, but I hope they correct them. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, later.